So Priya, they don't know English either. We don't know
Well,
either.
this
So
is very
same
good.
problem.
This is gonna be beyond words.
Yes.
Sure.
Welcome. And the first question I want to ask you, how did Osho come into your life and what happened next?
Since my childhood, I have lived in a spiritual atmosphere at my home. Sometimes my father used to visit Osho when he was a professor at Jabalpur. And my father had a library in which he used to keep books of various saints. One day he brought Osho's book and he urged me to read that one book. The title of that book was Antar Yatra. I was a student of 9th grade at that time. I read that book. I liked that book so much that later on, I kept on reading other books also. I felt as if I had found a treasure of my life. Slowly, I went on drowning in Osho's wonderful literature. I read some of these titles: The Quest for Peace, Jin Khoja Tin Paiya, Love is the Door of the Lord, Meditation Sutra. A spiritual curiosity went on growing in my heart. I became emotionally attached to Osho. The desire to see him grew stronger day by day. Meditation techniques were going on in my house in the morning and evening. People used to come and take books from the library. They used to do dynamic meditation in the morning, and in the evening, Kirtan meditation. And many friends, Osho lovers, started coming from far away. Kirtan and dance was going on almost daily. I was interested in music from a very young age. Often I would sing bhajans in Kirtan Sandhya, and my brother was playing tabla with me. Other musicians they were also joining, and there was a great music orchestra. After the music, in the end, he would calm down and immense in silent meditation. Thus, my childhood was spent in the meditative and the musical atmosphere of my family. Thus, connection with Osho became very, very easy to me.
Great.
Would you tell us what year was it?
It was when I was reading in class 9th. So
It must be
70.
close to
Close to
69
70.
or 70.
70. Oh.
Yeah.
And Osho gave you a name?
Yes, he gave my name.
What is the meaning?
Ma Amrit Priya. Amrit means nectar, immortal, eternity. We have eternal consciousness within us, and Priya means beloved. So this is my meaning of my name. So how to find our eternal consciousness, which is we are having within. So he taught the meditation, and so I experienced it. I was so lucky.
I would like to mention few incidents of my early life. One was at that time, there was no electricity in the village, so no motor pumps, nothing. So we used to have a well in the house, and Osho used to draw water from the well. He enjoyed it very much. He was giving water to all the plants in the garden, and we children used to sit there, and he used to pour water upon us. He was pulling water from the well using the bucket and rope, and he did it for almost 1 hour every day. And we, all the small children, used to take bath. He was pouring water on us. So this is the earliest memory I have of Osho. Second memory I have that Osho used to travel a lot by the train, railway trains, and almost 3 or 4 or 5 times in a month, he used to pass through the village. And we used to take food for him. Usually it was either lunchtime or dinner time. So we will carry the tiffin to the railway station. So few elderly people will also go there and family members will go there. And the train will stay there just for 2 minutes. And in 2 minutes, it was just a marvelous experience of Osho's presence. Just giving him the tiffin and few people chatting with him, talking with him. So I remember this happening again and again. So many times we went to railway station and carry food for him. Third thing I remember of very early age, there was a friend of Osho, his name was Mr. Kabra, and he had a beautiful garden in his house. His house was a little away from the town. So it was a lonely place, no crowd, no noise. Whenever Osho came from Jabalpur, he used to take meditation class in the evening at Mr. Kabra's garden. And about 50 people or 100 people will gather. I was very small. I didn't understand much what he's talking about, the philosophy or whatever, but I understood the instructions he was giving for meditation. First, he was saying to relax your body. He was repeating it few times. Then he was mentioning, watch your breath. It is becoming slower, smooth, very harmonious and rhythmical. Keep on watching your breath. And then he will suggest the mind is becoming calm and quiet. The body is relaxed. Breathing has become slow and mind has become calm and quiet. And then after giving these suggestions for about 10 minutes, then he will keep quiet. A deep silence will prevail. And in that early age, it was so easy to relax compared to now. It was much, much easier. Osho was saying relax and I was totally relaxed. He was saying breathing is becoming quiet, mind is becoming silent, and it happened immediately. So deep experience of meditation was happening. These are my few early memories of my childhood with Osho. Okay.
Do you recall when did you become an Osho sannyasi? When did you decide to be his disciple, or the other way around? Yes.
When I was in class 9, that time, Osho used to take meditation camps by himself. I went to Mount Abu while he was taking that meditation camp. And I had that great opportunity when he was talking about Kathopanishad. So in that time, a magazine used to be published in those days, Ukrand. I read that Bhagwan gives sannyas even through post. In those days, he was in Mumbai. I wrote him a letter. After about 10 days, I received the mala and the name also by post. My new name was Ma Amrit Priya. I felt as if Osho himself had given the mala. And I had a great thrill and great experience. I started wearing orange clothes and mala since. And then I went to Mount Abu while he was taking the meditation camp. And I again requested Osho to get me initiated again. And then he again gave the mala through his hands and the name again. He asked my name and then he just explained the meaning of the name. And it was great experience.
I remember my initiation. It was 1971. My grandmother died, and then Osho came. This was the last visit to the hometown in 1971. So when Osho came, so many sannyasins gathered, so many friends gathered. For the first time, I saw so many sannyasins wearing orange clothes and mala, and I got also very much interested. My elder brother, Swami Nikalank Bharati, had already taken the initiation. So I requested Osho. He said, will you be able to wear these orange clothes in the school? I was a student in high school in those days. I said, yes, I will be able to do that. Then he gave me a new name, Swami Shailendra Saraswati. Previously, my name was also given by him, Shailendra Shekhar. That was the name given by him when I was born. So he didn't change the name, he added the word Saraswati. Saraswati is the name of goddess of wisdom in India. And surprisingly, this was my mother's name also, and my grandmother's name also. So I was very happy to have my mother's name and the name of my grandmother joined with my name. So this is how the initiation happened to me. Okay.
Okay, beautiful.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Could you tell us about your life as disciple, Pune 1, Rajneeshpuram, World Tour, and Pune 2?
Yeah. In 1979, after completing my post-graduation in philosophy from Jabalpur University, I moved to Pune. I became an inmate of Sri Rajneesh Ashram. I got a chance to live and work at the lotus feet of Osho, listening to his discourses every morning, joining the Energy Darshan once every 15 days was extremely thrilling. Deep meditation experiences were happening in Osho's presence. Life became blessed. I learned various tasks in the commune lifestyle. Work is worship. This is a new thing I learned there. I worked at Welcome Center, cooking, gardening, telephone exchange, etc. In the commune, wherever needed, the sannyasins were shifted to work there. Thus, a multi-dimensional understanding of different kinds of works was developing in each one of us. The art of doing work with awareness and lovingness became part of life. There were opportunities to do many other types of work in Rajneeshpuram. Mostly I worked in the bakery and in the kitchen. One night I had a vision that I am cooking something for Osho. After 3 days, I got instruction that I have to bake bread for Osho. I baked bread for Osho for several months in bakery. From here, I realized even more deeply that work is worship. When we love someone and then do something, that act becomes worship. Or vice versa. If we do some work with love, then that work becomes source of bliss. About 15,000 people were from all over the country used to come there on Guru Purnima in Rajneeshpuram. Every day, food was prepared for so many people during festival time. I would get a chance to work in that too. Various dishes were cooked belonging to different countries and cultures. Thus got the experience of international cooking. The cooking process for so many people so playfully was amazing. Osho remained silent for about 3.5 years. He gave darshan in the afternoon. When he would be driving, at that time, the sannyasis were standing on the side of the road, dancing, playing instruments, celebrating. I also used to play a drum and dancing and singing. One day it happened that Osho was driving and he stopped at the car. The car stopped in front of me. He started making gestures with his hands to play louder, faster. I put all my energy. Then a moment came as if some other great power has possessed me. And the drum was playing by itself, faster and faster, because I was not expert of playing drum, but I was seeing the drum was being played faster and faster and louder through his action. I am just watching, just a witness. This unique experience is not forgotten even today. As if he's saying, now.
Wow, strong experience. Osho.
Oh, sure.
Osho.
Yes.
Osho. Beautiful. Osho. Oh, it was in Rajneeshpuram. This.
Yes, it was.
Okay. So you stay there all the time?
Yeah, I was there
And
the time. Since he left
since
Pune,
you left, yes.
Pune, after 1 year I went there. Just for after 10 months I reached Rajneeshpuram.
I remember my days as a disciple, even before the Pune days. It was after I finished my high school. And there was a summer vacation in India for 2 months. So I was free. I went to Mumbai and asked also what to be done. He said, you go to Kirtan Mandali. At that time, that was the way of spreading Osho's message and meditation techniques by doing Kirtan in the town and then giving talks, making Osho's audio available and teaching people how to meditate. So this was the job. About 10 to 20 people were there. It was called Kirtan Mandali. Mandali means the group of people who do Kirtan. So we were going in Gujarat from small village to village, from town to town. So up for about 2 months, I was traveling in Gujarat, doing Kirtan in unknown places between unknown people. And it was such a joy. People were watching with curiosity, what is going on? Who are these people? What are they doing? And then, of course, about 200, 300 people will gather. There was Swami Narendra Bodhisattva. He was the leader of the group. And he will give the talk. He will explain Osho's philosophy, Osho's vision of life. And he will conduct the meditation techniques in the morning, in the evening. So this was a great joy. For 2 months, I was working in the Kirtan Mandali. So this is before Pune days. Then when Osho moved from Bombay to Pune, he told me to do higher study. So I was studying in medical college. I used to go there after every 6 months and ask Osho again and again, should I continue studying or should I stop and join the ashram? He always said, no, you have to finish the study first. So I became a doctor. Then in 1979, I came to Osho finally, and he said, now you can become ashramite and start working in the medical center of the ashram. So this was my duty in the Pune 1 days. I worked as a doctor in the medical center. When Osho left India and reached to Rajneeshpuram, I also followed. There, my main work was in books go down. That place was called Zarathustra. So I was packing, unpacking books, dispatching books. So that was my main thing, to maintain the go down. Sometimes I worked in the construction. Whatever was needed in the commune, everybody was available for work. So this was my main work, sometimes in construction, but mostly in the Zarathustra warehouse. When we reached back to India in the 1985, then I was with Osho in Manali. Priya was also there. And there I remember one beautiful thing happened. There were very few people living in Manali. And on Osho's birthday, 11th December 1985, Priya was told to arrange the celebration. This was a little bit strange. We were new in that town. We didn't know anybody. Nobody knew us. And how to do this? We didn't have any musical instruments. But with Osho's grace, we got everything, whatever was needed. We went to a musical shop and he said, just take anything you want and you can return back tomorrow. So we got many musical instruments. Priya did a beautiful singing devoted to Osho. This was the first song she sang in front of Osho. Fortunately, she again got this opportunity when Osho returned back after the world tour. He was in Bombay, and again on 11th December, Priya was there. I was also there in Mumbai, and she again got a chance to sing. I would like you, if you can sing that song
Oh.
Wow.
on birthday.
This is
Wow.
a well-known song for Osho's birthday.
Mhm.
For all the birthdays, this song used to, some people used to sing, and that time I got that opportunity. Janamdin aaj Osho ka, Mubarak ho, Mubarak ho. Happy birthday, Osho.
This means congratulations to all on Osho's birthday.
जन्मदिन आज ओशो का मुबारक हो, मुबारक हो। जन्मदिन आज ओशो का मुबारक हो, मुबारक हो। धरा पर आना सदगुरु का मुबारक हो, मुबारक हो जन्मदिन. This was the song.
And one more thing I remember when you sang at Manali, my mother used to go sometimes to Osho when he was taking lunch. So next day, Osho mentioned to my mother that Priya sings very well, very melodious. So that is the greatest compliment she has ever received.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
We are all blown. Then there is the period of Pune 1, then it went all through until Osho left his body. How was this experience for both of you?
After Osho left his body, I felt as if there was nothing left in my life. Everything became meaningless and empty. Living ahead is pointless. I went through a deep shock 3 days after. As I was walking in the garden, just very sad. Suddenly I saw Swami Amrito, Osho's personal physician. I started crying when I met him. I saw Swami Amrito, Osho's personal physician. He just spread his both hands and said, "Look, Osho is here. And can't you feel in this atmosphere, in this air, in this sky, in these plants?" And something clicked. And I felt a deep sense of Osho's divine presence. Then I felt that I am surrounded with him constantly. And again, the zeal of living returned back. In those days, I was working in Hindi publication department. There cannot be any possibility to be another opportunity to understand Osho's presence and his vision by his books, because I was doing the proofreading at least for 8 hours a day. And it was immense. It was tremendous opportunity. In this way, the association was continued, and I was just living in his presence, sharing his visions, and this was my all life.
I would like to tell you a mysterious story, something esoteric. In Pune 2 days, I used to work as a doctor in central part of India in a hospital, and Priya used to be a music teacher there in the school. We were present on 10th April at Pune when Osho gave his last discourse. Then we returned back to our job to the central India place. Priya started having some visions, some dreams that Osho is leaving us. He is going away. It was symbolic, as if we were just standing there and his car passes by and he is gone. He is no more there. And we were feeling very sad and frustrated. This dream was repeating again and again. And then there was a young student. His name was Banke Bihari. He was also an Osho lover. He was studying engineering at Chennai. At that time, Chennai used to be called Madras. He came one day crying and weeping, and he said he has seen a vision that Osho has left his body, and his body is kept in the Buddha hall in ashram, and all the sannyasins are wearing white clothes and celebrating, and great light is emerging from Osho and spreading all over the existence. And then he saw this vision that Osho's body is being burned at the cremation ghat near the river at Koregaon Park. So he saw everything in details. Listening to him and remembering Priya's vision, we decided that we should drop the job and go to the ashram and started living with Osho. We inquired, we wrote a letter to the secretary, Ma Yog Neelam there. First, she said, Osho is fine, there is nothing to worry. Then finally, I asked her, please ask Osho. If he says that we should come there, we would prefer to come. We got the message, okay. Drop that job, give the resignation and come here. So it takes few months' time to resign. So after 3 months, we reached to Pune again. This was the beginning of August 1989. I got work in the publication department, and I was shocked to see that Osho were giving subtitles to the books which are getting reprinted. In every book subtitle, it was mentioned that he is going to leave us soon. Very clear words. So in year 1989, whatever is published after March, so the last 10 months, about 10 books were published in Hindi. And in each book, Osho gave a subtitle with clear indication that I'm going to leave. Nobody could see this. I could see because of Priya's vision and Banke Vihari, who became later on Swami Prem Anveshi, due to his vision. I could see that Osho is giving clear indication he's going to leave. And at that time, sannyasins were told to wear normal color clothes. The orange clothes and mala were dropped long time ago. You must be knowing all that. Swami Prem Anveshi told about everybody wearing white clothes. It was unbelievable at that time that we will be wearing white clothes. It was unimaginable. But at the end of August 89, the message came that Osho has said everybody to wear white robes in the evening. That was a great shock to me and Priya. The same thing has been seen by Prem Anveshi. Now it is very clear that Osho is going to leave us. And after that, the message was given by Amrito or Anando. Many times the same message was given that Osho is saying somebody is chanting a mantra in a very subtle voice, very low volume, and that mantra is hurting on my hara center. And if that person keeps on chanting the mantra, I have to leave my body, because the hara is the center of my life and that mantra sound is hurting on my hara. So find out that person and request him to leave the Buddha hall. Now this was a really serious message. I became very tense, tried to hear, but I could not hear anything. And not only me, everybody was doing the same. Everybody was trying to listen. What sound, what mantra, who is chanting? And the guards were alert all the time. And sometimes the message came that Osho is saying that, listen from the right side. The sound is coming from the right side. Sometimes the audience was changed from left to right and right to left just before Osho came. So we can figure out who is chanting the mantra. Sometimes the video of the audience was made to show it to Osho later on, so he can figure out who is chanting the mantra, but without any result. It was very depressive phase in my life. I was feeling frustrated that I cannot do anything at all. And Osho is going to leave body and nobody could do anything. So somehow I was prepared for this event. Priya was also prepared that Osho is going to leave. So it was a frustration on our own self that we are not able to hear the sound. We could not catch that person who is making the mantra. So this was a deep frustration. The heart was deeply hurt. I have written this whole story and it is available on sannyas.wiki website. You can read it. Hindi subtitles, a story. So I have given the translation of all the subtitles also. So those 10 subtitles are very, very clear. And at that time, I didn't want to share this with anybody. I knew it. She knew it, that this is going to happen. So it was tension, shock, stress, and frustration that Osho is giving message, find out that person who is chanting the mantra and we are unable to do it. I made a press release on 20th January 1990, narrating all this story, the 10 subtitles. It was published in Osho Times magazine also. I was being a sub-editor of that magazine at that time. So all this is being translated and already available on sannyas.wiki website, so you can read from there. So this is what happened after Osho left his body.
Well, I was in Pune from April 88 until April 90. So I've seen part of what you were saying in Buddha Hall with this mantra thing.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about your awakening. How could you describe about this to us?
Will you tell it first?
About 9 months after Osho left his body, we went back to work in our place in Amlai, Madhya Pradesh. There we continued the dynamic meditation, Nad Brahma Dhyan, or Kirtan every day. We had a lot of divine experiences during this practice. Awareness, witnessing, sensitivities began to grow. The ability of decide whether to get angry or not had come even before anger strikes, as if the key of the emotions was in my hands. Access of meditation, energy, awakening of Kundalini, and depth of love increased. Then a wonderful incident happened on 19th January 1998. I started listening the sound of Om. Gradually, the experiences of inner light, bliss, divine fragrance, and the depth of samadhi started growing. This was the process.
I would like to mention regarding this question that as I felt deeply hurt and frustrated, being unable to listen the sound, I started focusing on listening. So in September or October, I returned back from Pune in year 90. And then as Priya mentioned, we continued dynamic meditation, devotional singing, dancing, sometimes Nad Brahma in the night or in the early morning, particularly focusing on listening, what we have missed at that time. And as we remember the date, because it was again 19th January, after 8 years, Priya started listening, I started listening. We didn't tell each other during the whole day. I used to go to the hospital in the morning. I used to come back at 12 o'clock. And then Priya used to go to the school at 12 o'clock and she will return back in evening. I will go again back to the hospital in the evening for 2 hours and return. So after returning in the night from the hospital, I said to her that I'm listening a sound since this morning after dynamic meditation, and I'm worried what is that? Maybe my blood pressure has increased, I'm diabetic. So when I went to the hospital, I got my blood sugar checked, I got my blood pressure checked, I went to the ENT specialist and got my ears checked, maybe something wrong in the ears, but there was nothing wrong. The blood pressure was normal, sugar was controlled, and no problem in the ears. I was surprised what is going on. When I told this to Priya, she said, "Oh my God, I am also listening." So then we discussed with each other what kind of sound you are listening, what kind of sound I'm listening. And we came to know it is the same kind of sound. By chance, we had invited a friend and his wife for dinner that night. So when they came, we requested them to listen carefully and tell us what kind of sound you are listening. They tried and said that there is no sound. Then we went in the garden, around the house, in different rooms of the house, and they could not listen anything. And both of us were listening so clearly. Later on, we realized that is the sound of Om. That is the divine melody. That is the sound of one hand clapping Osho has been talking about. That is the hidden harmony. We were surprised, overjoyed, and that became a turning point in our life. We started becoming more and more sensitive to listening, to sound. And as our sensitivity grew, we started becoming more and more aware. So this was the process of becoming more and more aware, more conscious, more witnessing. And then we realized that Osho was creating a device by telling that somebody is chanting a mantra. He was creating a device so everybody could listen the divine melody, the celestial music of the existence. He has been telling his whole life to listen. Finally, he said, now, at least now listen. Otherwise, I'm going to die. But I missed at that time. And I think most of the people missed. So it was not a fact that somebody was chanting a mantra, but this was a device for us to become more meditative, more alert, more sensitive, and start listening the celestial music, the eternal music of the existence, which is happening in our consciousness. It is the sound of Om, which is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. So this sound meditativeness became a turning point in my life, in Priya's life, and we could understand many things what Osho has said in the discourses. We could not understand at that time, but after having this divine experience, we could understand so many things. Every puzzle became clear, so clear. So this is what happened to us after Osho left his body. It took almost 8 years for us to listen to that sound. And for the same purpose, Osho asked to prepare his samadhi in such a way that it is soundproof. The walls are made of glasses. No sound can come from outside. And the air conditioner machine is far away. So no sound of the machine. And it was not allowed to make any noise, any music in the samadhi place. So everybody could listen to the sound and enter in deep meditation, which is called samadhi. So listening to that sound with awareness, the meditation becomes samadhi. It gains more and more depth, or you can say more and more height, whatever. The dimension changes from horizontal to vertical. So this is the process of awakening. Okay.
I want to hear this divine melody too.
You're most welcome.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Beautiful. Wow. Wow. I used to teach Osho's meditation. And I always said to my students that hear the music, open your ear, hear the music, and these are the transformation. This act of hearing transform your meditation in something more elevated or more.
That's true.
So
I would like to mention one more thing. Nobody has noticed that. Out of 112 techniques of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, which Lord Shiva has given to Devi Parvati, the biggest number, the 12 techniques are concerned with listening the sound of Om. This is a huge number. 9 techniques are related with breathing awareness and 12 techniques are related with sound. 12 techniques are related with watching the inner divine light. If we can combine these 3 things, this becomes almost half of the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. If we can become aware, listen inside and watch inside, this is the greatest technique. And later on, I became surprised when I was going through Osho's books in English as well as in Hindi. Out of 650 books, almost 200 books point out only one thing, and that is divine sound. The titles of the book, I'm not saying about the content. He has mentioned more than few thousand times about the listening of Om. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the title of the book, which he has chosen. He has chosen definitely a very meaningful sentence, or in Hindi, sometimes part of a poem, one line or half line of the poem. That's how he has given the titles. And it's such a huge number, 200 book titles pointing only one thing, listening to divine sound. But this I realized much later. I'm going to talk about that later on sometimes. That it's a big topic, and I have to mention with each title how Osho has explained it, what is the meaning of that title, and then things will become very clear. So I'm gathering all those quotations, collecting, and then I'm going to give a interview. Not a interview, it will be a series of interview. It will take at least 10 hours or 20 hours to disclose that secret.
Wow.
Okay.
Great. I want to say something. The person here, a friend who put me in contact with you, is Shamarda, and he sends his love to you.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
So much love to him.
Yeah, he appreciates very much what you are doing there. And we want to know how to be in contact with you, how to, if it's possible to participate in anything that you are doing, meditation camps or whatever. Please tell us about it.
Yes, we are doing meditation camps online since last 2.5 years due to the lockdown in Corona period. We started doing online because it was not possible to travel. Everybody was at home. So we started doing online programs, and we are teaching every alternate week. It's 7 days program, then 7 days gap, then again 7 days program. So every alternate week we are going on, and anybody can join. We will give the phone numbers, emails, and other things.
Links for
links for the program. So, and the same program which we do from India at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. That will be again available on a different software for about 20 hours. So in any country, you can watch it according to your convenience. So no need to get up at 6:30 Indian time. You can watch it anytime. So this is something new. We are using the modern technology, and almost 1,000 people are attending every month. 1,000, big number. So
Wow.
you are welcome.
Well, I will talk to your friend there to get all the links and everything.
Yes.
Sure.
Ma
sure.
Moksha can send you the links, all the links, and
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
yeah.
Great.
So next program will start from this Saturday. We
I-
start from Saturday.
Yeah, I welcome you.
Ah, wow, that's great.
Wow.
Yes.
That will be great. And sometime you come to India.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
we
What
want-
place in India are
Eh,
you
We are
living?
close to New Delhi.
in Sonipat, Haryana, near Delhi. New
Near
Delhi.
Delhi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
So we
okay.
are.
Some time ago, we interviewed Jyoti, and
Yeah.
is she near your place too? No.
Yes. She's not at my place, but she's close by, about 2 hours away.
Ah,
Okay.
okay. So we come and visit
Okay.
both. Great.
So happy to meet you.
Me too. Me
Uh,
too. I would like to. Well, this is. I know you have much more to share. Maybe we do another time, another one.
Okay.
Sure.
If
Please.
you agree,
Yes.
okay.
Sure.
Okay.
And
Sure.
for now, I would like to thank you so much
So
for this
Thank
sharing.
you. Thank you also.
Namaste.
Namaste. Jai Osho.
Namaste.
Jai Osho.
Jai
Jai
Osho.
Osho.
Yay.